Alright, boat gang. Well, today is finally going to be the day that we run Hawkeye, the rigger, out in the pond. Now, just wanted to check the CG before we went out, and this is where it kind of sits naturally. So if we look from the back of the turn fin, I'm going to say 1 3/4 inches from the back of the turn fin. Alright, well, it's out here. Let's see how she goes. The pond is still frozen over there, so definitely don't want to fall in. Ooh. Okay, everything looks good there. Wow, yeah. I've got my steering rate turned way down. And it is very touchy. Okay. Alright, I turned my steering dual rate down from 50 down to 40. Go ahead, there we go. Let's just, let's do 5 or 6 laps. Watch out, the ice. That's better. 40% dual rate's probably perfect. Uh-oh. Might have got power cut. I need to go ahead and open it up. I couldn't tell if I was getting coolant coming out of this thing or not. Let's feel. I mean, you're dealing with 32-degree water. I'm sure it's all gonna be cold. But just like on the shrimp rigger, you could always feel the ESC's temperature through the side. I don't smell anything. All right. Let's double check this. I'm gonna blow backwards through the water discharge. Yeah. Doesn't seem. That was just strange. I got a subtle power cut. A subtle power cut. I mean, that's not messed up. All right, I'm gonna do 5 or 6 more laps, and I'm gonna pay more attention this time to see if I can actually see water coming out of the discharge port. Good. All right, let's give this a go one more time. Ooh, close to the edge. All right, in order for me to see it, oh God, it will not turn that way. Okay, that's what it was. It's either the cable spinning in the collet or the drive dog. I heard it that time. All right, let's open it up and see what we see. All right. Go ahead and pull the tape off. And pull it off nicely. It doesn't smell good. Oh, that is definitely a strange smell that I've never smelled before. Alright, let's check the motor temp. Well, the motor's not hot. Battery temp. That's cool. ESC temp. That's good. Collet temp. How is that possible? Yeah, that's not hot. Motor is barely lukewarm. I don't get it. What was that smoke? I mean, I understand if I had some smoke coming from like the grease of the cable or something like that. I don't know if y'all probably didn't see that on film. It was just subtle when I opened this up. Ever so subtle. Huh. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, I did notice when I did that, it's pulling the cable in quite a bit. So maybe we're getting some load on the cable, possibly the cable shrinking due to the length of the cable, and it could be pulling it up against the strut here. And that could be what's like binding it, you know. Total possibility. Okay, well, I'd say that's going to be good enough for this. I'm going to go ahead and open up the app and see if it collected data or if I have to run data, like run the screen in the program while I'm actually running it, because it's kind of hard to film and run the program at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and check that now. Okay, so I just checked the data, and now the ESC, the motor will not turn. So it looks like the Maiden voyage was a bust. Speaking of bust, look at it. Just look at it. Pissing me off. Pissing me off. See it? That bottom capacitor popped. Never in my life. I've never popped an ESC. I've never popped a capacitor on an ESC. Let alone 2 in a row. This is 2 failures in a row. So frustrating. I wish so bad that I didn't have to send my old Kraken 180 back, because I've got a damn bad capacitor on this one now. Yep, it popped it. That was what the smoke was, and that's why it seemed like it had a power cut. So I don't know if this damn motor is like too much for it or what, you know. But I looked at the data and it won't show me any data, so I can't. I just can't, man. It's so freaking frustrating. So looks like we're gonna go back to the drawing board, and we're gonna put an ESC in the front of this thing, and we're just gonna do away with the Flycolor Kraken. You know, I've had excellent results out of the 120 version of that ESC. I've ran it over 90 miles an hour on 4S. I just don't get it, you know. It's a possibility that that motor, you know, in this setup, it can get over 180 or 200 amps. All that run right there, I never was able to actually get it to full throttle. The only full throttle blip I did was like on the bench, kind of, if that makes any sense. And it was just too loud and rattly. But I think I can probably save the ESC by desoldering the capacitor and maybe soldering on another capacitor, or maybe this thing's going to require an additional capacitor set in with the batteries, or in with the battery leads. So yeah, not the way I wanted it to go. Looks like we got a little juice right there on the wire.
See the juice on the wire. I don't know why it won't focus. But yeah, the juice on the wire, that's probably from the capacitor. So bad news, guys. That sucks. Not the way I wanted the video to go. And it sucks because I haven't ran a boat in literally 2 weeks, and then I've been so eager to run this. Patiently waited for the Kraken 180. I had this whole big plan of how I was going to build the boat and how everything was going to go and how clean it looks, this, that, and the third. And then here we are, yet again, with a failure. Okay, we are back inside. I wanted to kind of go over this. I need y'all's opinion on this because it could be either way. So this is a brand new Leopard motor, right? And one thing I noticed about it, it has extremely high amounts of magnetism in it. So I wonder if magnetism in a motor directly correlates to the amount of amp draw with the motor. Because if you start looking at like my Poseidon motor or the TP motor that has the metal wrapped rotors, like the TP CM motors, those are always very free spinning, easy motors that actually pull lower amps than the motors that have high magnetism. So I'm wondering if being that it's a 2600 kV motor and it's super high magnetism, is that what's causing these to fail? Because remember, this is the second one that's failed. The other one failed literally the first blip, and it burned one of these FETs up on this side, and now this go around, it popped this capacitor. You can see where right there, I don't know if y'all can actually see, but it opened it up. It opened it up. So it's basically done. The capacitor is, at least. Hopefully I can cut this off and bend these back and look to see where it's soldered at on the board and desolder it and put another capacitor on, because I've got probably 10 or 15 of these. I don't know if they are separated or how easy they would be to replace or whatnot, but at this point it's no good. We'll see. We just got to see. So my question is to you: do you think the motor is causing this issue, or am I undersized on my speed control? Because I've seen some people run the X8S Hydra on this. I've seen some pack the XLX2 in here, which I have a really, really strong thought about putting the XLX2 in here because it would presumably fit perfect right in the front. Now I do have my Sea King 180s. So we'll go over here to the speed controller box. I could put this Sea King 180 in it and see how it does, because it's got a hellacious capacitor bank on it. And then I have a Spectrum 120 I could put on it, or we probably don't want to do that. That's a Flycolor 150. So I could do that. I could put the the Sea King 180s and just see how it goes. Or we could do something like this, or maybe even the XLX2. But at this point, I'm frustrated with it. What I'm really thinking about doing, what will come out in the video next after this, these are the motors that came out of the Cheetah. Okay, so the Cheetah's gutted, but you're going to have to wait for that video. That will be out next. So I'm thinking maybe I can just put this motor in it and then run the Sea King 180s, because I already know this motor's good and I already know the Sea Kings are good. So this is 2000 kV. It's not where I want to be, but at this point it is what it is. So unfortunate. I've never had a capacitor pop, never. So I don't know what to say as far as what caused it. The drive line is not binded up. It doesn't seem binded up. It doesn't really move. I have a slight gap there that's kind of got grease all in it right there. But with the washer, it's probably a quarter size gap. But the thickness of a quarter right there is probably the thickness of a dime. But yeah, I just don't know. Kind of frustrated. It went around the pond 10 times, and then I noticed the power cut, and then I thought it was the collet, because that's what it seemed like. I could hear boop, 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 and I was like, okay, let's take it easy, bring it in. And then when I lifted the back cover, I saw a little subtle bit of smoke. So subtle, but unfortunate. So I'm gonna
let y'all comment in the comment section and let me know what you think, because so many people on here on YouTube who watch these videos are way more knowledgeable than I am. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and what would you do? And we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.